Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we celebrate Thanksgiving with the East Brunswick Senior Center as they hold a special lunch in honor of the holiday. We head to Memorial Elementary School, where a special assembly was held in observance of Veterans Day as the Student Council welcomes veterans and specially thank them for their service. Mayor Brad Cohn visits Open Road Acura on Route 18, one of the many businesses participating in the Shop East Brunswick Property Tax Rebate Program. And we drop in on Senior Day at East Brunswick High School as the girls' soccer team celebrates the graduating senior student athletes with a pre-game ceremony. All this, plus the East Brunswick Historical Society, held a special program about the history of World War I. So stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now.
Hi, I'm Sharon Riley Morosi, Assistant Director for the East Brunswick Department on Aging, and this is the Voice of Experience. I am here today at the Senior Center with Rachel Steinberg, the Director of the Department on Aging. Rachel, it looks like a party's going on. What's happening?
It's a Thanksgiving event. You know, we are party animals here at the Senior Center, and we are so thankful to have such a beautiful facility and wonderful seniors and participants that come to our center that give so much to our community and to our center. And we are just so thankful for the support administration and gives us. I think we have one of the best senior centers around. And we are very blessed to have a wonderful chef. We are one of the only senior centers that has a chef, and he catered today's event, party. And we have lunch here every day, Monday through Friday. So I hope people come on over and meet wonderful people that come to the center and enjoy.
Now there's a DJ. Does that mean there's going to be dancing going on?
Absolutely, always dancing. You know, we have a lot of exercise classes, so people are really in tone and tune to dancing.
Rachel, it looks like a lot of work went into preparing this. How does something like this come to be?
Well, we have a wonderful program coordinator who unfortunately is not here today, but she sets everything in motion, and we all sit down as a staff and divide the work, the balloons, the cooking, the tablecloths, the setting the table, the helping prepare, and also, of course, serving the meal. So it's a really group experience. Couldn't do it without staff. We might be small, but we are very powerful and very energetic.
It looks like a lot of love went into preparing for today.
A lot of love, a lot of caring, and not only today, Sharon, but every day. You come into this building and there's a lot of caring and sharing and love. And I want to wish the whole community a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you. would like more information about programs and services available through the East Brunswick Department on Aging, then please call us at 732-390-6896. And please remember, the East Brunswick Department on Aging is here to help you and yours age successfully.
Today at Memorial School, we celebrate our 4th annual Veterans Day celebration. Today we honored our veterans within our town from VFW Post 133, as well as family members of veterans in our school.
Good morning, Memorial students, and to your teachers, Mrs. Jones, and all the honored guests who are here today. Thank you for inviting me to pay tribute to veterans today. Yes, I am a veteran, and I think it's important to tell you how I became one. But before I do that, let me tell you a secret. I used to get embarrassed when people would thank me for my service, because I didn't join the military to get thanks. But now when people thank me, I just say thank you back, because I know they appreciate the people who have served. I could have chosen the Army, the Marines, the Navy, or the Coast Guard, but I chose the Air Force. Or maybe the Air Force chose me, because I was born into an Air Force family. My father served for over 33 years.
We find it very important for students to learn about our veterans, to show their service to our country and what it's like to be an American.
So about 4 years ago, I realized that the school memorial is dedicated to our servicemen and women, and we weren't doing anything as a school to recognize that. I also believe, since children are in school on Veterans Day generally, it's nice to acknowledge the holiday and the importance of the holiday. So about 4 years ago, as the Cultural Arts Chairperson at Memorial School, I decided to approach the principal about putting together a program where the students can pay homage to our veterans. We spoke to the local veterans, VFW Post 133, and Tommy Colehill and his gang have been wonderful. They've been part of the program from the beginning. They've helped me find speakers. We have Dr. Valesky, who, a veteran himself, comes, supports the program. And we have members, either our mayor or council members will come out as well. This year we were lucky to have some of our Board of Education members that got to come see the program. But the important thing about this program is that the children are the ones that run it. Generally, the Student Council will run the program. They will do Master of Ceremonies. They will present the gifts. Although I will say one of my favorite parts of this, other than the children singing, because for anyone that hasn't heard 500 beautiful voices singing our patriotic songs, that's the best thing you can ask for. One of the nicest things is when you see the children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews of servicemen and women are the ones to present our certificates of appreciation to their family members. It's a very poignant moment. And the children love it. They love being part of it. They love giving back. And this has been a blessing for me to be part of this for the last 4 years.
My name is Mike Downs. I was in the United States Navy. I was a surface rescue swimmer. I served 2 deployments in Iraq, Somalia, and Liberia. After returning home from those deployments, I struggled with some things with what's called post-traumatic stress disorder. I got help myself and realized how expensive it is to get that help. And what I did was I created a foundation that helps veterans get the help that I got, and it's called Unbroken Warriors. And what I did to raise money was I walked from Holmdel, New Jersey to Washington, D.C. in 3 days.
I gave a quick speech today on teaching the kids about what veterans go through when they come home,
and the organization that I founded to help veterans deal with problems and issues that they deal with when they come home from serving overseas. A service dog and a veteran become a team. Like I said before, they travel everywhere together. It's the same bond that the serviceman has when they're in the service. It's the same bond as with the dog and the human. I go everywhere with her. She depends on me. I depend on her. It's a camaraderie that you don't have when you come home, and it helps form that bond. And the service dog is also specifically trained to help the veteran deal with crowds and dealing with situations that are uncomfortable for veterans when they come back. Unbroken Warriors is a foundation that I created after seeking residential help for post-traumatic stress. We raise money to send veterans to facilities to get that help, and also we help sponsor service dogs so veterans can have the same opportunities that I've had after coming home. Go to unbrokenwarriors.org and you could donate there. You can contact me if there's a veteran that you know that needs help. Please feel free to contact me. The website, anything you need, everything that you share with us is confidential. And we'll get you the help that you need.
We had a wonderful event here today with all of our students and all of our special guests. I thank the PTA for helping organize, our Board of Education members for attending, as well as our central office staff and Dr. Valesky.
Well, we're here today with Kurt Steger, the General Manager of Open Road Acura here on Route 18 in East Brunswick. And again, another individual, another corporation, another merchant who was so nice to be part of our Shop East Brunswick program. So what we're doing is doing these type of commercials and giving you an opportunity to speak to the community for any individual like yourselves or that were one of the first people to sign on to our program, which we are absolutely grateful for. As most of you know, the Shop East Brunswick program is a rewards program where by shopping in our local merchants, which we want to help incentivize you by allowing any credits that are obtained during that purchase be accumulated in an account that's set aside, and at the end of the year that total amount that you've been able to save gets credited directly to your property tax bill, so that it is a reward off of your property taxes for frequenting the merchants that we have in town. And we're hoping obviously to drive business their way so that they stay here and thrive. So you were part of the core group of people that started, and on behalf of the township, I'd like to thank you for doing that.
Our pleasure.
If you could just, for the folks that are watching who may not know where Open Road Acura is, although most everyone I talk to knows them, talk a little bit about your location, your hours, and the product itself and what you do here.
Well, we are conveniently located at the southern tip of East Brunswick, just below the East Brunswick Mall. Pretty hard to miss us if you're coming down 18.
That's right.
We are a full-service Acura and other makes for used and, vehicles as well. We have full-service parts, service and sales, and we service anything. And really, we were very excited to be part of the original formation of the East Brunswick, Shop East Brunswick program. We've seen the success in other townships, and we really wanted to see the same success here. The amount of people that we've had come in with cards has actually been fairly surprising in the beginning. I think that once they started to realize the amount of credits that they can build in a short time is pretty insurmountable. So it's been a good thing for us.
One of the strengths of the commercial corridor here is that Route 18 sees close to 100,000 cars a day. And while many of them may be from East Brunswick, they're not all from East Brunswick. So one of the other nicer features about our Shop East Brunswick program that many other similar programs don't do is that people who rent here and those that live out of town can also accumulate credits, and instead of getting that applied to their property tax bill, they just get that as a rebate, so that we know that the traffic on the highway goes well beyond East Brunswick, and we don't really care how you gain business. We just want you to be successful, and we want all of our merchants to feel that it was worthwhile having been in East Brunswick as an incentive to other companies to come here too. I know also that besides just being part of our community in terms of being a merchant here, you recently joined our Chamber of Commerce that we actually instituted very recently. You want to talk a little bit about the reason why you did that and what you're hoping to get out of being part of that program?
Well, I think a chamber is very important to East Brunswick. Bringing all of the businesses together and really becoming an organization of businesses that help each other and know each other is something we've been missing for quite a while, and it's really been a pleasure to be a part of the beginning of that as well. I think that over time it's only going to strengthen the East Brunswick businesses and really help solidify growth that we see around East Brunswick already as it is. So, and we're very excited about that too. So, it's a lot of good things.
And I think that also being part of a business community and a network of businesses, you really get a feel for how important it is to be a partner with the township.
Absolutely.
And that we treasure because it's not just residents, it's the interaction of residents, the schools, the merchants that really make a community what it is. I know that you're expanding out into a little bit further out beyond your parking lot, and having worked with the company, you've been very responsive to the residents to make sure that their concerns are kept first in your thoughts, and that the community understands and recognizes that what we do together, and solutions are not difficult. We just have to work together, and I thank you for being receptive to our residents and their concerns. It's important to me, and I know it's important to you as a business.
It is very much so. Our goal is not just to be a good business and a valuable business to East Brunswick, but our goal is also to be a good neighbor too, and we're doing everything we can to do that.
I want to thank you again for being part of our program. Being part of the Business Chamber of Commerce really makes East Brunswick the terrific community that it is, and we appreciate your being part of that.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you.
All right.
The East Brunswick High School girls soccer team recently held senior day before a home game against Howell.
Hello, I'm Dietrich Murphy with EBTV, and today we're at the East Brunswick Historical Society. Let's check out what's going on inside. So what is your involvement here today?
I have a display on with my father's World War I outfit that he wore in France, and I'm displaying pictures and that of him when he fought in France. He went over the top twice, captured a German machine gun nest, and was gassed over there. I also have a picture of my wife's stepfather, who he also fought in France. My father was from England. He enlisted in the Army in World War I, and he got his citizenship by enlisting in the Army.
When America got in, the Germans didn't think that American troops were going to be effective, but that was not the case. The Americans fought very bravely, very valiantly. By the fall of 1918, the Germans had nothing left. They were cut off by a blockade. They were running out of money. They were running out of supplies. The American army was pushing them back with some battles. 1918, the Germans decided that they were finished, and they asked for an armistice. And an armistice was signed on November 11th, 1918, which was 99 years ago, yesterday. And the war ended at that point.
I'm here to give a presentation about World War I, specifically two soldiers, one who was killed over there and one who came back and went on to live an extraordinary life. So it's to commemorate this is the 99th anniversary of World War I, and next year will be the 100th, the centennial of World War I. So I'm really grateful to the East Brunswick Historical Society for doing this program for us.
And what is your connection to those people?
Okay, so I'm from South Amboy originally. I live in East Brunswick now, but I've been very familiar. I wrote a book about South Amboy, and so I have a knowledge and intense interest in the history of South Amboy, and these two men are both from South Amboy. Okay, so let's get on to their stories. Mr. Lovely, we just passed the 125th anniversary of his birth this past Tuesday. That's kind of a significant one, I think. I kind of find those 25-year increments significant. So he just was 120, just past that. He's a tool and die maker by trade. He's an apprentice with his father, I believe. He enlists at age 24, and from what I understand, he was one of 1,200 or so that were accepted out of 6,000 who applied. He had to go to New York and enlist there, and his trade, which he had started in, somewhat, I believe, led to what he did in the Army of being an engineer. He's with the Railway Regiment, as it says there. He gets there August 7th, 1917, St. Martin, France. I'm going to show you a map in a minute. And what he does is some of the pretty important work to lay the groundwork for the army that's going to arrive. And building the barracks, a rail spur, telephone lines, mess halls, latrines, and filling in shell holes because the landscape.
And how did you get involved with this?
Well, I did this presentation back in April, which was the 100th anniversary of the beginning of the U.S. involvement in World War I, and a member of both societies, suggested that I do it and here as well. So I was lucky enough to be invited to do this presentation again, and I've expanded it somewhat to include the second soldier who was killed over there. This is where he ends up. And if anybody has been there or speaks French and can help me with the pronunciation, I'm grateful. Gauzecourt, France. St. Martin is not on the map, but it's somewhere around here. And this is around the time of where we're coming up on actually the 100th anniversary of his death later this month, because he's the Cambrai offensive takes place, and I don't know many details about that, but the Cambrai offensive, the British push back the Germans. They think they've done an outstanding job, and they go and start to rebuild and start building more stuff. And there were Germans that had regrouped, they attacked, and Mr. Lovely was caught up in that. We don't know the cause of death or the exact circumstances of his death, but that's how he met his end. Mr. Heim's uncle was a big deal in the Michelin plant in Milltown, the mill in Milltown. And he makes an offer to his sister, for Albert's education, if he wishes, he would pay for it, or he'd bring him over to America and he could live there. And Mr. Heim took the latter, obviously. He wanted to see Indians, I think was one of his reasons, right? I don't know if he ever did. Well, I think he did, but maybe not the way he envisioned it. So he immigrates over here at age 14, and I just want you to, focus for a minute on the bravery of this act. He, alone. He immigrates alone. Sure, he's going to be with family, but it's not like he knew his uncle well. So he comes over, and he would never see his mother again. It's pretty extraordinary. He didn't make it back over there until after she had died. Okay, so how does he get into the service? New Brunswick, they go out on the town. Guys from Milltown would take the trolley over to New Brunswick for a night out on the town. And one night, Mr. Heim's walking on Livingston Avenue and sees a company of soldiers go by, and he follows them back to this building, the Armory. His sergeant comes up to him and asks, what can I help you? And so he ends up joining up, and the rest is history.
And what would you say some of the effects from World War I were?
Wow. Well, it catapulted the United States as a world power, pretty much. I guess that's probably the most outstanding, noteworthy, outcome of World War I. We were just one of many countries before that, but our involvement in helping the Allies to win the war, catapulted the U.S. to be a world power, and it just introduced so many modern aspects of war: airplanes, tanks, gas. Unfortunately, most of them unfortunate, of course, but it introduced a modern, way of waging war. I'm happy to tell the story of Albert Heim and Luke Lovely, and of course they are just two of many soldiers. New Jersey sent something like 150,000 soldiers over there to World War I, and we lost something like 3,800 who were killed, about half to disease, Spanish flu and so forth, and we're going to touch on that today. But I'm grateful for their interest, and people give up their time to listen to some of our history.
I'm Dietrich Murphy here with EBTV at the East Brunswick Historical Society. I hope you enjoyed that presentation. Catch you next time.